This program meant for masters in journalism and mass communication as well as postgraduate diploma in digital media. And today's topic we are going to discuss about citizen journalism. It's a part of second year program of MAGMC as well as a part of diploma in digital media course called Digital Media or Understanding Digital Media. In a routine life, we always receive information thing. Somebody somewhere package it or creates a content and send it to us, either in the newspaper format or in a television or radio or the mobile online platform. So always majority of the context, many scenarios, every day, we tend to receive a lot of information, a lot of news content. These content, these news items are selected, filtered, packaged and delivered to us by professionals, news organizations. They have set of rules, they are trained professionals and they know what is required for the society, which stories we supposed to pass or which story we supposed to print, which story we supposed to broadcast. So they have certain unwritten rules, and if you look at in the morning, if you look at the major newspaper, you more or less you'll find common news items. The major stories usually common. The news value, because it's nobody is discussing. No two newspaper discusses each other. They are real competitors, but coincidentally, and on average, if you look at the front page, you'll find a commonality, a lot of commonality. Of course, there is no common rule and they are not discussing each other. But now you can understand that there is unwritten news operation, news procedures, news values, the news sense, the professionals, they can identify easily that. And that has become a talking point across the city, across the nation, or across the global context. Media has the capacity to set the agenda for us. That happens many levels, many contexts. There are a lot of influential people, influential institutions. They try to utilize this attention grabbing opportunity for the sake of any institution or any ideology or any particular scheme, many things. If you go inside the mass media operation, you will find much more pull and pushes. Corporates, political, social setup, international agencies, many operations, many factors influences news selection. But unfortunately, what happens, right? The predominantly the mainstream media is being controlled or influenced by dominant political institutions. So that's because they have to survive and they need to go with the power system. That's normally they'll do that, and they'll adopt certain areas, political, gender, racial, class. Dominant set of thinking always dominates the newsroom operations. And besides that, all the news organizations are market driven. They are here for the business. And without business, they can't survive for a longer period of time. So they have to sell their product. They have to attract the attention of the audience. They have to sell the product and advertisements and everything. They have to make it sure that they are getting a profit and manageable, commercially manageable. So that is a main challenge of the newsroom operation in the whole political, social, and commercial agenda or commercial operations. The marginalized or people from a disadvantaged section, I would say even common people usually get neglected in the mainstream media. It's not a deliberate attempt, but this is a system that functions that. Because they have to cater to the large sections of the society and they have to take care about the interest of multiple institutions. And parallelly, they have to maintain their profit. So we lost the ground for that operations. So automatically, once we are marginalized, we lost the participation in the society-wide communication. But many times, many things are happening, many events are happening. Maybe we want to inform others. Okay, there is a major crisis in our city, on my locality, water crisis, and there's a deliberate attempt on stopping certain roads or transport is not properly managed. So in everyday life, we used to encounter many issues. These are potential issues. It's not only affecting us, because we are not only one person living in that locality. There are many thousands of people. If we are suffering, then many people must be suffering that. This needs to be taken into the right people, or we may need to build the opinion, or we may need to collect the public opinion in favor of certain change for transport frequency, water timings, or major local issues sometime, or state level issues, national level issues. A lot of things we wanted to inform others, or engage with others, have a dialogue with others, to have a solution, or to have a broader understanding. 20 years back or 30 years back, we were having only the mainstream media, newspaper, radio, television, film, and all. Very expensive to operate those institutions. We can't afford it. And running a newspaper is not that easy. Or similarly for radio, television, and also. Requires financial investment. We need a large network of people, either within the city or within the state or within the national level, subscribing to agencies, printing machine, broadcasting system, camera. Huge investment, one-time investment, as well as recurring costs are huge. That's not possible. So they have to business profit, then taking care about other interest. This is how newsrooms, news organization operates that. But then who will take care about our common issues? Mainstream media, they have different set of ideas. And we are the common people, we can't afford to have a mainstream media setup. So we need to find the alternative ground to have our ideas needs to be exchanged, and platform for dialogue, and platform for better understanding. These are the requirements of communication. So alternative media platform, that is a one solution thing. And public sphere or space in which people come together, a debate, that requires for the societies to go smoothly, to find a solution. And every society will have matters, issues, problems that needs to be resolved, or system needs to be upgraded, or find a solution for many urgent or long-term issues. For that, people has to come to the platform to discuss. Of course, not 24/7 discussion, but routine and continuous dialogue needs to be maintained. The platform needs to be sufficient, or it can accommodate all the viewpoints, diversity, multiplicity. All these are part and parcel of society-wide communication. Some of these terms, some of these facilities are not provided, or not available. Of course, that can be made possible, but I said earlier about this program about this political, social, power, and commercial interest. Due to that, we have lost that opportunity. So alternative is the only solution for that. And freedom of expression works against the concentration of information. When the few media companies operates in India, few means there may be many channels, maybe newspapers. If you look at the ownership, you will find small number of people, a small number of institutions operates many number of channels and news outlets that go against the freedom of expression. Always we need a diversity, multiplicity in terms of opinion, viewpoints. Then only that the diverse we will come to know about the other side of any issues. Okay, that's a one crucial part. That's a one another dimension of concentration of power with a few hands. And information needs to be decentralized. Then only we can, the common people or the common audience can participate in that. That is a main point of this citizen journalism. That citizen journalism is basically the common people are exchanging their views or reporting some events or expressing their views and opinion. And that mainly happens in different platform, alternative platform. Chances are very remote in the mainstream media, because I told you the different characteristics of newsroom operations. So we need to have alternative. We are not proposing a new one, but there are many experiments happened. Many experiments happened, particularly the last 2 decades. After the online and in digital platform, we got a lot of opportunity about reporting certain things, having a dialogue, expressing an opinion, which is not possible some years back. But now, with your mobile, with your online gadgets or computer, you can have a newspaper. Whatever level, small or bigger, with a few people, you can run a hyper local newspapers. For small 2-3 areas within the city, you can have a newspaper, or within the city you can have a newspaper, or you can have a radio station, online radio station, you can have a streaming. How long it will take? It's not, there's no need of technology or investment to start a live broadcast through social media. Any one of us can do that. So now you can understand that the mainstream media still operates with the same set of rules, and the common people also got a similar technology communication platform for various purposes. The common people can engage with the media system. So in that manner, once the common people participates in the communication system, there are participatory media, there are different terms being used, participatory media or community radio, community video, or online participatory media. Many things are happening. But in this discussion, we are confined to one term, citizen journalism. Citizen journalism means anyone, any individual using any communication platform to disseminate information about the current events. Citizen journalism. There are many ways in which this is happening. Earlier, mainstream media, they were reluctant to take inputs from the common people, and mostly letters to the editor. That's the only space we used to get reflected our opinion and all. But now, with these kind of changes in the technology, media also is changing their own pattern, because they are also getting inputs. They are getting a different content, because the national newspaper may not be able to have reporters or strangers across all the villages or district. But now, since the net, through the online platform, every newspaper can be downloaded or can be accessed by anyone from any nook and corner of the country. So of course, automatically, I'll be very more interested about the incidents happening in and around my location, rather than a city which is nearly 500 or 1,000 kilometers away from my location. So they need to localize the content. Same time, they can't appoint regular reporters or part-time correspondents. So this is it's a win-win situation for both the mainstream media as well as the common people. So example here, this is a one, and here not only the comments, here the Times of India they have a citizen reporter, that's a separate section, and here anyone can post a story in whatever format, either in the text format or in the video format, but it goes to the editorial processing, and once that story fills the editorial policy, then automatically they'll post it. And there is another example here. There is a separate section within the Quint. Here individuals can participate in the sense, not a comment section. Stories can be posted, but there is no guarantee about publishing the stories, but all depends upon the editorial decisions of the content. Citizen journalism with the mainstream media, basically there are two concepts. One is a moderated and unmoderated. Here common people can contribute in a two different manner. One, comments, opinions can be given to any news story. Nowadays, all the mainstream news outlets having an online presence, because these same stories are being circulated through social media. Either individual reader can give a comments through mainstream, their own website, or through social media. When they're giving comments through social media, mostly it's unmoderated, and when they're doing through their own website, mostly it's unmoderated, but someone is monitoring the inputs. Okay, it may not be 24/7, but monitoring, and the unwanted contents are deleted or hidden. So this is one part of the participation, and many newspapers are doing, in the Hindustan Times of India, Indian Express, all the major newspapers in Indian context have this kind of comments sections in their website, as well as through their social media platform. And earlier it was not required, but now you had to register just to make sure that anonymous postings are not allowed, because the anonymous, it's very difficult to fix accountability. So accounts are required. You need to create account, and also to avoid the spam, massive message system and all that. In order to avoid that, they go for account section. And also it's a responsibility of the individuals rather than the institutions. Even they somebody posting the comments, it's a in post, it's a owners has to take the responsibility of the content of posting the comment. Another one is this is extension of part of mainstream media. These are part of major television channels. They prefer to accommodate multimedia content rather than the text. Multimedia content means the photograph or video content. They'll incorporate within them their own news package. Of course, the correspondents, the news professionals, they'll create the news package, but they'll take the inputs from wherever possible from the citizen contributions. Now this is being changed in the manner mainstream media started collecting the pictures or text or videos from the social media, because these are not copyrighted. So, but of course they are giving the credit for the individuals. So that is one thing is happening in the mainstream part. And another one is the citizen journalism. The concept is being packaged in a separate entity, separate institution. Citizen journalism standalone website. There's one, it's called edited version, means it's a news website. Of course they can't afford to have mainstream media, so this is quite easy to collect the information, process it, and package it and disseminate. So websites are being maintained, and the stories are written by the individuals from the anyone from the society. But the news operation is the same like a mainstream media. News are collected from individuals, filtered, processed based on set of rules, news values. Then once the content is matching with the editorial policy, then they'll pass it on to the society. That's called the standalone website, meant in the concept of citizen journalism, but edited version. Means every content goes through certain filtering process. The standalone citizen journalism edited option, Indian context, there are many examples, but for the sake of our classroom discussions, I'm giving one example of marynews.com. It's a dedicated website, and if you look at that, this is a professionally maintained website and looks like a very standardized any newspaper operations. And you can become a member by registering with the website and contributing the content, and the content goes through multiple stages of editorial processing. Then once that fulfills the criteria, then automatically goes publication. So this is a standalone citizen journalism website. Another one is a citizen journalism standalone website's unedited version. I'll give you the example. This is called Wiki News. The Wiki News, here all the participants, user or readers are editors, and there is no hierarchy, and nobody filters any story. If you want, you can create the content. The article cannot be deleted, but can be modified by others. And you must be familiar with the Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a concept. This is the same organization running the Wiki News. Here, stories are contributed by individuals, but nobody is there to monitor the content. They have region-specific Wiki News bureau, and that takes care about the extreme cases of posting content. So this is an example here, but the frequency of news posting in the Wiki News is low, and unlike the standalone other edited version that. Then other option is citizen journalism. They can use a social media. Here there is no institutions involved. Individuals are managing their own efforts, their own dissemination, their own sharing everything. Here there is no networking. Individuals are operating that. Okay, so one being part of the mainstream media, another one is having individual self-identity for citizen journalism, following this traditional newsroom operation. Another one is a standalone website, inputs coming from multiple individuals, but nobody edits that in a systematic manner. It's a kind of group of volunteers. They'll come together, they'll handle the information, they'll handle the delivery, whatever possible manner. But these are not set of rules as like a mainstream media, then social media platform. But online platform gives a lot of scope for fulfilling any of the citizen journalism part. Here there is no restriction on giving opinion, which was problematic 20 years back, and there is a possibility of challenging or changing the dominant public discourses, and grievances can be addressed and disseminate untold stories. And after all, it has a global reach on that. And potential problem in this citizen journalism is it requires every individuals to understand the technology, because here technology facilitates better participation. So now knowing the system, knowing the technology, knowing language, also another major challenge here. These two are current challenges, and because since the technology over the period of time will be accommodated, and there are many ways instead of language there are scope for audio reporting, audio podcasting, all these that can change the language difficulties part. So that's a citizen journalism is a kind of system that encourages a more participation in the real time news environment, which is quite challenging because here the opinion views are needs to be controlled. Normally that's being practiced. So here this is a challenge, and here this is technology provides solution. So over the period of time it evolves to multiple avatars. Thank you.